Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hysterical Society. Real quick, they're going to want to hold a little business meeting, and then we'll get into the presentation tonight. So I give you the Historical Society.
How you all doing tonight? It's good. Thanks for coming out. Rick Sachs, one of the township supervisors, and work closely with the great bunch from the Historical Society, and we'll be introducing them momentarily. But if I could ask everybody to rise for the pledge to the flag, I'd appreciate it. Oh, sorry. Usually I have a big enough mouth. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if I could ask everybody to remain standing for a moment of silence for the folks still missing in Florida, and hopefully get more people recovered there safely. Thank you very much. So I just want to introduce the Historical Society's board, which consists of Pat Hughes, Barb Gormley. Where's Barb? Barb's not here tonight? Okay. Ginny Ward and Luann Pullen. You folks probably know them pretty well. So I'm going to turn it over to Pat for the short business meeting that was mentioned, and then we'll get on to learning the history of Tabor.
We are so excited to be back. We had 2020 all planned out, and we all know what happened. So we're slowly getting back. This is our first meeting that we've had. We met in May to do the annual Memorial Day in the park, and this is our first meeting today. So thank you very much for coming tonight. We appreciate it. During this time, even though we were technically shut down, we still acquired many things. People made donations to the Historical Society. There's a postcard out on the table called Ed's Place, and if you're familiar with the top of Sumneytown Hill, where there is right now a produce building that they sell produce in, starting soon, I guess, that used to be called Ed's Place, and if you take a look at that out there, you'll see what was sold there and what it was. It was actually like a little luncheonette kind of a thing. We had someone donate photos from Spring Mountain House and photos from our 250th anniversary celebration as well. And then we also had COVID reflections from different people in our community, and we put that out there for people to just let us know how they made it through the whole pandemic. I had students at Salford Hills write some things. I haven't picked those up yet, but we have from a child's point of view and different things. So if you have a COVID reflection you want to share, please do that with us. We even are far-reaching. I had an email from someone in Germany who is looking for information about his family, particularly early 1700s. So we're going to try to reach out and help him do that. So on the back table, when you go out, there are some books back there. We're looking for people to write memories of summers in Upper Salford, memories of the post office, memories of going to church, all those kind of things. Just a little snippet of what it was like for that. Right now, we have events. Our events are planned, and there's a paper on the table back there that it lists all of the things we're going to be doing this year from August, September, October, and November is when we will be meeting. I dropped my glasses. There they go. So we will also we're also doing the Red, White, and Blue Parade on July 3rd this year instead of July 4th. And if you're interested in history of Schwanksville, Pennypacker Mills is running an exhibit through January that it's on their website. If you're interested in doing that, you can go through it, or you can do a virtual tour of that. And Graves Tales, if you went to Graves Tales at Old Goshnoppen Church 2 or 3 years ago, that's coming back this October. So look for information on that. And our fire company is having its 75th anniversary celebration next year, so we will be involved with that as well. So again, I thank you very much for coming out tonight. If you're not a member of our organization, there's a paper back there for you to sign out. We don't send out a lot of emails, just informative when a meeting is coming or something that's happening in the township. So with that, Ginny, I'll let you go from there.
Pastor Ed in Marksdale
You might regret that. But again, thank you so much. Again, we just love historical societies. I was telling some of the people, I had the privilege of, I grew up in Hatfield, being from North Penn, and going to North Penn High School, but there's that great history society going on in Hatfield. We then moved to Hilltown, and a great one going on in Hilltown also. I love the historical societies. Actually did a lot with Rock Hill, and Rock Hill actually helped Highland Park get us going in our history, just helped us get organized and all, to the point now where we have a museum there. We're a National Historic Landmark over there. So again, just really learning to appreciate the history. And almost kind of what we're doing now is what we kind of did over at Highland Park, and we're hoping for, and we'll see what happens, is we're starting to dust off our history and maybe get it organized or just bring it up again. And then hopefully as people are watching online or people here, you're like, I got a box of photographs from Sunday school or church, whatever, and we would love to scan them. Or we would love to get some of the stories you have, whether it's videotaping or audio taping them. We just want to try to capture our history and, again, hear from all the wonderful stories. We'll do some dates tonight, but really I think the important thing is the stories. We have a cemetery in the back, and there's a date, a dash, and another date. You know, the date we began, and the dash, the date you lived, or the time you lived, and the date that we put you in the ground. And we'll know when Tabor Church started. We'll get that date, and we're not done yet, so there's not enough. But that dash on all those stones out there is a life lived. And so many stories, and that's really what we want to explore tonight. I think what makes Ken Burns so good at what he does when he does history, he made history come alive again because he shared the stories. And that's what I'm counting on. I am just a presenter. I'm here, actually, I'm going to mix it up and get some of it wrong intentionally. And I'm going to have my experts here. You call me out, you say fake news, and you all let me know, my experts, of what, and we'll get the wireless mic out there. At any time, you just raise your hands, just give me and we'll, if you have a story to share or anything, or we can do at the end if you want to have some question and answers, and we'll see if we can get some of that. But first of all, I want to thank Sue Fetzer. She wasn't able to come tonight, but this was initially going to be her presentation, so I'm hoping to do it justice. I know she has a real heart, and she had a box, and she's the one that really did all the work. She presented to me, and I just, had to bring it up out of the box. So she did a lot of the digging and all that. And if you don't like it, I messed up. Not that she took care of that. So I thank you for that. And again, just thank you for all that you're doing for history. And because again, I like what you said about faith formation. It really speaks to this area. And I can't tell you Tabor history what keeps the church going on through all the hard times. And we've been through some hard times, but this area's been through a lot of hard times. I mean, unfortunately, we're going through them now. But a lot of times what gets us through, and again, we're not here to force a faith on anybody who's doesn't have a faith, but for us, our personal experiences, our faith has gotten us through it. Our belief in Jesus Christ walking through us, his presence, is what gets us through it. So again, if we always like to make an invitation, if anybody wants to know more about that's part of why we exist, is to share that Jesus Christ died for your sins, the penalty of your death. And for our belief is if you believe in him, then you'll have eternal life. And if that sounds like poppycock or hogwash to you, then again, I would love to, if you're open to it, discussing it. And if not, I respect your choice to not have that as your choice. But anyway, so as we get in tonight, and I was glad at kind of the way it was opened up, that the story of this whole area, interestingly, and again, also for our Gashahoppen friends, is a story of faith, of different things going way back. For us, we're going to kind of trace our story of our faith story back to Jacob Albright. And perhaps you know that's a big name in this area. Jacob Albright is the founder of the Evangelical Church, or the Evangelical Association as it's first known. He was born in nearby Douglas Township, only 15 miles away. And again, he's a real prominent guy. He was born in 1759. So if I do my math correctly, I believe he's 17 years old when the American Revolution's taking place. So just, kind of get a feel for what's going on. So this evangelical association that he starts, again, with having the German influence coming through, at first is that we can trace it appeared in Upper Milford Township in September 1829, and then it kind of spread from there to the whole Perkiomen Valley. This evangelical association would first preach in private homes. And here we have the home of Jacob Schlatter pictured. And this was the place right down the road where people start meeting in this area that then became Tabor Church. So again, we're greatly appreciative of Jacob Schlatter opening up his house. And I'm sure a man of strong faith wanting to, again, just feeling the importance of faith and how that makes a difference in his life. Our next picture is our actual first building. Is on the land Jacob Schlatter donated land, and that's we then got Schlatter's meeting house. We have a deed that it's 1866. Now our church claims 1862 as the start of the church, but that's actually the time when the building was built. So there you see it called Tabor Evangelical Meeting House, but as different names, and obviously the great name of Hendricks. You're going to hear all throughout tonight because that's kind of what the area was known for then. We have in the meeting house on the deed, and again, it was built in 1862, but we have a deed, maybe it took a few years to get the deed. In 1866, a Jonas Schlatter and Henry Young, how about that, were the first trustees on that deed. And then the cemetery that is believed was donated by Henry Young, who is the father of Jacob Young. And okay, so we have that. And kind of what was neat was the church, the meeting house, was only used maybe once a month, is my understanding, or twice a month. It wasn't every Sunday back then. And strangely, Sunday school wasn't held there either. But Sunday school was held up the road. And we have data of that of 1894, and again, organized by the same people. That one was organized by William Young, Bill Young. He's the brother of Henry Young, and also William Schlatter, who was the son of Jonas Schlatter. So that's kind of to give us some appreciation of the dates there. And let me just continue on with my timeline here. So we had the Sunday school, and then sometimes, as happens in faith communities, as we, a lot of times we want to get along, but anytime you get a group big enough, there's going to be disagreement. And unfortunately, in 1891, there was a division among the Evangelical Association, and there was a break-off group that they divided. The smaller group was known as the United Evangelical Church, and then the majority group was still known as the Evangelica Association. And then what happened was Tabor, as we saw there, they remained with the Evangelical Association, but we had some notes in our history that some people joined the church, joined the Schwenksville Church, which would have been nearby. As good things go, the division only lasted till 1922, and then they reunited. They called themselves the Evangelical Church, whereas before they were the Evangelical Association. And some people did not return. They said, we're going to hold out. And they were known as the Evangelical Congregational Church. And that church still exists today. A lot of times we call them the ECC. So if you ever hear the ECCs or the Evangelical Congregational Church, they're all throughout the area too. And so we're kind of related to them in our history. And then just to give you a quick brief then we'll get into the specifics of Tabor. In 1946, the Evangelical Church that we are speaking of and the United Brethren in Christ, which is another denomination or area, they merged together to form the Evangelical United Brethren Church, which some people affectionately call the EUB. And again, there was many Evangelical United Brethren churches, Tabor being one. I know in Telford, Grace, yeah. How about great in Telford, right? And I think if you still look at the church, it's in cement. Still on the old part of the building there where it says the other name. Right. Not even United Brother. It goes back to the other. Yeah, look for it on the chapel side. Yeah. And if we go into Lansdale, next to the high school, North Penn, you have Christ United Methodist Church now, but originally that was Christ. Okay, so that's what. Oh, I thought you said Grace. I'm sorry, the Telford. So, yes. And that would kind of explain why there's Lansdale United Methodist Church. We'll get into later how the EUB merged with the Evangelical Methodists, I believe it was, and then created the United Methodist Church, because they, again, combining the names. But anyway, so even if we go into Percy, First Church in Percy was, again, another EUB. So, yeah, Tabor was an EUB. Okay, so, and as we have a sign here, I know we're going to try to fix it up and restore it, but if you look at it carefully, maybe you can see in there where it says Evangelical United Brethren. So that's kind of a history of our area. But if we wanted to get specifically to the timeline of Tabor, in 1940, let me just want to make sure I get everything here. They were meeting twice a month. And then we have a note that in 1944, they started meeting every Sunday. And this was a big deal. And then they started also in 1947 a Sunday school church. And then they needed a larger building. So let's see. So I want to go to this poem here. This is when they were getting ready to rededicate the new building. This was in our one of the pamphlets up here you can see. And that's the old church building there. And I want to read to you a poem that somebody wrote. I'm not sure if you can see it there, but I'll read it to you. That one of the students, it's Lorraine Lloyd, wrote about the old meeting house. What they did, I believe, is what I can get, that they took off some of the walls and kept some of it, but they enlarged the meeting house. So this is what she wrote about Hendrick's Church, which again, it was often referred to as Hendrick's Church. Beyond a little woods, upon a little hill. I'd say big hill, but that's just... Beyond a little woods, upon a little hill, above a little village, where all is calm and still, stood a little church, so lowly and so plain, no fancy pews or colored window panes. Just a kind of warmth inside, not known anywhere. And should you ever miss a week, the people really care. Now this little church stood for many a day until at last it began to wear away. So overall the warmth and right around their friends, they added all new pieces, but couldn't put it to an end. For what was most important couldn't be taken away. Here's where people love each other. Give me Hendricks any day. So again, just a nice poem written by the children. And so again, that's now, you'll go back one there, Karen. Okay, one. I think you're going to have to zoom back out, Karen. Go, okay, right there's the old building, and then I think you got to go the other way. It's on the right side.
I can't hear you. You got to talk into the mic.
Okay, can you go to the next picture? Next picture? Okay, so there's the new addition. You can see the old building in the front. They enlarged it, and now that we have the new section on there. And then if you can go to the next picture, that's a newspaper article of when they dedicated the church, and you can kind of see the same part there. That would be coming up from the road that way to the church. And let's see if we got another picture there, Karen. This is the educational wing. Okay, well, I can't see the picture. So to get a perspective, that's the part in all the way over there going to the back, right? Shooting out. So again, this would be coming up the hill where you see that, and then that's the, well, actually, this is the back side of the educational wing, all the way from the back, if you're looking at the back of the church as we would think of it now. So next picture. And I believe that would still be the back of the, looking from the back of the church. Some nice cars there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the office.
Okay, the office wing that we have now. Okay, I need your help. That's what the experts, right? So we got the office wing that you're seeing right out here. All right. Yeah.
One more caveat, that first store we saw,
Yes.
where my dad would bring me out to spank me when I was...
Whoa! Some good old-fashioned spanking going on at church.
And usually the windows were open so everybody heard it anyway. Why he took me out of it.
Oh, man.
Tree by where Jack is being spanked, is that the one that?
All right, well, can we go back one, Karen? Yeah, we're going to go. Can you hear? Can you turn on the wireless? Okay, I'm going to give this to my. All right, so just so that people hear it, the confession.
I think they heard it, but
Karen, can you go back one?
at least one, yeah. One more,
Okay, so is that the tree?
one more.
All
Yeah,
right,
it's the
one
tree.
more.
There's the door, yeah. Because the sanctuary was on the left.
All right, talk. Can you hear the mic, everyone? Or
Hello? Yeah. The sanctuary was on the left, and we'd go out the back, make a right, and another right, and come out there, and that's right, get spanked.
are you saying
Yes, it was.
not this tree? Is that the? Can you help us out? Is that the tree that fell down? No. Okay. All right. I think we're going to see that in the picture, though. I think, but again, we're going to find out. Okay. So, Karen, can you go to the next picture? All right. So that's the educational unit. Now, did I get that? It's not.
No.
Well, that's what it
No,
was in the booklet.
Actually, at that point, I think that was educational.
Yeah.
That
Well, I'm
was
going to show you
added
the
on for Sunday
inside.
school.
Yeah. So I don't. Right. Back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah, but now maybe it's okay. Yeah, because that's from the book. But okay, so I didn't print
But it's
that.
not our current educational wing.
Okay, right. It's not the right. It's the old education wing.
Yeah, that's the
This is from a book from 1950, when they were making the original edition. Right. So it's the one building, and then they added on that one section, I believe. Okay, Karen, can you go to the next one?
Now,
All right. So.
that's
Pretty much the same building.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, next picture, Karen. So that's looking into the old sanctuary. That's all the way. I believe, and again, let me know if this is fake news or not. Tabor is the widest church in Upper Salford. Are we the widest? Yeah, not the longest. It's the widest church that exists. All right, so it says, the interior looking in. All right, Karen, next picture. All right, this is that education wing I'm talking about. So you see where that, I guess, would have been the office?
Yeah,
all the way
back there is the office, yeah.
Yeah, straight back. So you and you can see right there would have gone into the sanctuary then, correct? Onto that side. So that's, again, something new that they built because they had Sunday school going now. And again, this is the first educational. Then we go bigger again, right? The curtains?
accordion doors.
Accordion doors, okay. All right, now let's see if we got one more picture. Oh, okay, go back yet. I'll go back to my story. Well, now, go ahead. I'm sorry, Karen. So in 1949, the church decided that we wanted to have a full-time pastor. And if you have a full-time pastor, you want to have them a place to, and it's going to really help, and the life of the church takes on. So that's 1950. Well, hold on, let me get this. 1959 is when the new parsonage is built. So I got to jump ahead here. The old building was 1950 that we were looking at. It was started in 1949. It was completed in 1950, all those old pictures. And then in 1956, they got a full-time pastor. 1959, we get the parsonage. Okay, so then there was an addition to the cemetery, land that was donated by Professor McConnell and his sister Frances Bixler. Okay? Now, things start getting interesting again. Let me make sure. In 1963, they enlarged the education unit, and this took a few years. It was completed in 1968. So let's go to our next picture. There is what the front of the church used to look like. You got pillars, Now it's all enclosed in if you want to, as you come in. So it's going to look different. And so that's the new addition that was in 1968. Now we're going to have some fun because we got some more pictures from this area, I think. So Karen, can you give me the next picture? All right, so that's looking the other way and some cool cars. And you, again, see the trees. Now, Jack, any doors there you want to point out? Or
No.
okay.
Go with that one.
All right, next picture, Karen. So now I'm not sure. I think this might be misplaced with the year, but that is Dick Hollingsworth on Palm Sunday coming in on his horse.
One-eyed horse.
Yeah, it's one-eyed horse.
One-eyed horse.
One-eyed horse. Only. So, and again, the year might be off on that because I think later I realized I can see there with the next part of the additions there. So the years are probably off, but anyway, it kind of gave a good picture of what that church looked like, the front of there, that new education wing before it was enclosed in. Okay, so the next picture, Karen. Okay, and again, that's coming up the hill. Still looks pretty much the same. Okay, and we're going to kind of now go around the building, I believe. You let me know if we're correct. Next picture, Karen. Is that the tree?
That's the tree.
That's the darn tree. That was so that tree, if people know, there was, let's call it a tornado. That tree fell onto the church, and luckily no one was hurt. But is it 3 years ago? 2 years ago? So you all know the devastation that took place in the area and that horrible time. So there's that tree. And then the next picture, Karen. So we're kind of continuing going on. So if anybody's, you can drive along the back, but that's all you see right there. Now, does anybody remember the playground? Next picture, Karen. Oh, there's a classic. So I'm not sure who's in the picture there, but they are very groovy. And
What's that playground? We don't ever remember seeing that.
so would that have been, I guess, not the back of the church, but on the side, or, well, whatever. It does. All right, Karen, what's the next picture? Now, I think we still have these crosses around. And this would be walking in from the back of the church, obviously going into the old sanctuary. Next picture. There's a nice picture of the old sanctuary. And Reverend Billman, Frank Billman. Now I believe this is,
That's Christmas Eve.
some people say Christmas, but I think it's actually, I'm going to guess it's sunrise service on Easter. But some people told me, I'm just guessing, so.
It's Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, okay, all right, that's what they told me.
There are lilies on the altar.
See the,
That's why I thought that means Easter, right? Yeah, I don't know.
Gosh, that's Diane.
Well, hold on, keep going. Well, we'll get there. So again, you're still telling me this is, I'm going with Easter. But anyway,
Yeah, must be Easter.
the next picture, because there's some Easter hats too, I believe. That's what I'm going with too. But
For Easter.
so again, who wants a closer look at that choir?
Yeah.
Next picture, Karen. Oh, not yet. This would be going out the church. So you see the back there, kind of give you an idea again of that wing. All right, next picture. All right.
There they are.
All right. Some fine-looking people there. You know who you are.
Jane Castle.
Does anybody want to name names? Or,
Yeah, we're doing it.
yep, Jane, right?
Jane Moyer.
George Ditter.
George.
Is that Jack Hartle?
All right, can you say it in the microphone? Just yes.
Is that Jack Hartle? Yeah. Jay Moyer, yeah. Jane Castle. Diane. Good old Diane's there.
Good, young Diane.
Sue Fetzer. I was wondering who that was.
I think is that Sue? Well, again, type in the comments on Facebook if you're watching. Help us out.
Who is the
All right.
person in front of Jay?
Not George? Where's?
It looks like Debbie Edgar.
All right, are we ready to go on, or you want to stay, still figure it out?
Oh, there's Dad.
All right, so you want to say who that is?
Charles Young. Jim Young.
Yeah.
Now,
Playing the piano where he should be. Yeah.
I just want to clear up something here. Is this Leroy?
No.
No, okay, this is,
Jim. Charles.
Charles, but he was called Jim.
They all had different
That's what, I mean, I'm looking at the names and,
Yeah, they were all screwed up. They did things to confuse people.
okay, so now he was the, he's playing the organist, pianist? Oh,
Hold on. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
all right, now, I think we have another great surprise.
Hold, yeah,
Bob Holden.
Okay, now, next slide, Karen. Oh. Does anybody know? I'm going to go crazy. I'm kidding because I don't know. McMaster? Across the No? Okay. All right, well, these are just some pictures, and we just thought they'd have some fun with them. Now, is that?
She used to be our nursery school teacher.
Okay.
Oh, those are the Mackenzie.
All right, who's this?
Bill and Mary.
Do you know who this is?
Jacobs.
Bill and Mary and Kirsten.
Bill,
Yeah, that's
Mary,
Kirsten.
and Kirsten? Okay. All right. Now, first of all, do you know where this picture's taken? Yes, the basement of the parsonage. There's a fireplace down there, and I think the couch is still there from the 1980s. I think this had a date on it of... Karen, does it say it on the thing there?
It's got to be somewhere around 1970.
No, I'm going to say
6.
84, does it say on the picture?
I think it's like 80s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jack and I took over you from Jim and Jim.
Okay, now, is that Diana?
No.
No? Okay.
She's a Mackenzie.
We don't know anybody in this one?
She's a Mackenzie.
McKenzie, okay.
Jane Castle's daughter, when the left was
All right, can you go back one, Karen?
Back one. Jane Castle.
So who do we think it is? Oh. Okay,
You know what? What's his name? The kid above him.
okay. What's that mean?
But who is the boy? Who is the guy standing?
When a fight breaks out, I'm with the guy in the corner.
Eric
Whoever
Vela.
it is.
Oh, he's a Damiani? On the left. Okay, but standing next to him. Yeah. Who is that? That's a Mackenzie. Nah, that's not a Mackenzie.
Well, I can give you the year on it, if that helps. It's either 74 or 84, I thought. But
84, I bet.
84, okay. All right, are you ready to solve a mystery?
Yeah.
All right, we're trying to find this.
You can't find it?
Cindy said, we're looking for it. Everyone knows what it is. This was made. It was hanging for a long time. If anybody knows where it's at, help us, because
disintegrated.
we're not sure where it's at. Yeah, this was made at the church, and everyone was really proud at the hand. But again, we're not sure what happened to it.
It was big, yeah.
Left-hand side of the sanctuary
Yeah.
for a gazillion years.
Okay. So help us with the mystery if you know at home. Next picture, Karen. Okay. So let's get back to our history. I believe I have us at the church is growing, even though they already had one educational unit. Things are going well, and we decide that we need to build a fellowship hall. Right? And this is the groundbreaking for the next thing to do, the way you see right behind us. Now, just to give you some context, we're going to have to do another history night because we're not even going to touch the history tonight of this building. Sorry, Jack. But you got to help me with that, or maybe you, but we're only going to touch upon the fellowship hall. And I'm going to tell you the name of it in a minute because it's something very significant. It's not known as the fellowship hall, but when they were building it, it was the fellowship hall. And, well, let me read to you what they posted about the fellowship hall, what they're wanting to build. Well, let's go to the next picture, Karen. Who's that?
Oh.
So everyone got a turn with the shovel, and I just Diane's was I thought one of the more interesting pictures. But you might know some of the other people there who helped breaking the ground. And is that the shovel we have in the hallway still? Is this wonderful? It's not the same shovel.
That was for this.
Oh, this one. Okay. All right.
That's
Thank you.
Bill Young.
What's that?
That's another Young. Bill
Okay.
Young.
On the left, in the background on the left.
Right behind Diane.
Is who?
Bill Young.
Okay.
Leroy.
Leroy, yep, that I talked about, okay. All right, next picture. So I know it's not that great quality, but over there you can see the fellowship hall that was completed. I have it as 1985, about when it was completed. No?
Too early.
1986, 1985 is when the fellowship hall was completed. Let's go for it. That's actually in the snow. Can you give me one more next picture, Karen? Okay, so there's kind of seeing it without this sanctuary added on. That comes later. I want to read to you what they wrote in the book when they were dedicating it. They said, our new multi-purpose fellowship hall is the first phase of a proposed expansion of our church facility, which by God's grace will be completed in the years ahead. It has a multi-purpose capabilities for many much-needed ministries in the expanded program of Tabor United Methodist Church. In 1969, I believe, we united with, we said is the Methodist Church, and then became the United Methodist Church. We now have space for our fellowship, dinners, community service, and outreach, Sunday school classes, youth recreation programs, informal worship services, wheelchair accessible restrooms, a kitchen, and additional storage space. When the total expansion is completed, we will have a new sanctuary, office space, additional storage space, a chapel, and additional Sunday school rooms. And, okay. And again, what's the next slide, Karen? Okay, so this is in the snow again, maybe a better quality picture. And you still see the front where the pillars are there. It's not enclosed yet. What's the next picture, Karen? There's on this looking at the side, and again, it's only half of the building that you see now. One more picture. Okay, we're coming around the back, so you see the back of the hall. And what's the next picture, Karen? Okay, so I want to show you, that's what I just read to you, so I got ahead of myself. But you see our building committee, and I want to read to you the bottom part, I believe. Oh, wait a minute, no, that's another, let me see. Check my pages here. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to read you the bottom part of how the hall got its name. Many thanks to the members of the building committee, and you see them there, who gave their time, their talent, and their resources in making this new building become a reality. We thank them for keeping to the task and the vision in spite of hard decisions and criticism. No, at times. We especially want to remember Abe Weller in our prayers as he recovers in the hospital from a serious accident that he experienced at the church while working on this project. We know how much he would want to be among us to share in this celebration. This was from the pamphlet of when they were dedicating it, and if I'm not mistaken, he didn't get better. And he's in heaven, and to honor him and for his work and all that, it's now known and will forever be known, not as the Fellowship Hall, but as Weller Hall. So let's see. Again, I just, during the thing, again, just wanted to spot out some things during our program here. If you look at the bottom there, it says, solo, we are the Church of the Lord by our very own Rich Fetzer, who made the words in this song were specially written for this occasion. So, Rich, if you're watching, I want you to do the song again. I never got to hear the song, so please give us that awesome chance. And what's our next slide? I just wanted to finish out tonight with, again, Life is Worth Living, that was on the back of one of our things. Again, just as these are difficult times. Who's kidding who? Not all the people, we may have lost some friends and family over this last season, and, it was an inconvenience not for you to meet, and also for us to meet, but for some people, there's going to be an empty space at the table. And again, just here at Tabor Church, it's our faith that has gotten us through. And we want to always, we are about is making disciples. And we want to reach out to everyone. If you are struggling or you're not sure what's the meaning of life, and you want to explain, well, if you believe in a God, why would he allow this to happen? We would love to talk to you about it, because there is an answer for all of those things. And our faith, again, helps us to get through all these things. So we would welcome you to just to check out Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. But I'd like to read this to you. This life is worth living. What life is worth will all depend upon the life you live, my friend. Defeated lives need never be. Life's made an end in victory. It's planned so all may someday see life is worth living. The greatest of joys abound in lives where kindliness is found. When self is lost to others' needs, when kindness soothes the heart that bleeds. When hands work daily in good deeds, life is worth living. Should we contrive with death, my friend, and try to bring life to an end, beware, I say, call off your bluff. To kill the breath is not enough, for life's made of eternal stuff. Life is worth living. Beyond this realm of care and strife, there lies a far more blessed life. Seek him who daily seeks you out, so you may someday hear his shout and have no reason then to doubt life is worth living. Now, I want to go to our experts. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add to anything we had, or any stories that some of these might have sparked a memory or anything? Or I know we kind of had good chat as we went along.
I'd like to.
Okay, sir.
I don't. What?
You're not going to show us scars.
No scars. This always had a lot of meaning for me. That's why I want to share it. The first Sunday school edition, putting the T on the original sanctuary. My uncle Bill Leroy was on his way back from Europe after World War II. Met a man on the ship, the troop ship, who convinced him that child ministry was important. That child's ministry was important. Sunday school was a new thing then. It wasn't really a big thing in churches anywhere. That's the story I was told. And that was his mission. He came back, he started a children's Sunday school, and that edition came about that way.
Okay.
And it ties into what you were speaking about this morning.
Yeah.
Just a conversation. He made friends with this guy, and just because of who he was, his impact on my uncle created the Sunday school here. And how many kids did that touch? So.
Yeah. And one thing I just wanted to add is we have just again a conversation, a discussion. It's so neat to me to see the old church, and yet to see a very modern church, and to think of it spans, I believe, 160 years this year. 1862 to 2022, I believe, is 160 years if I do my math correctly. I'm not sure. But again, and I think it's a wonderful thing, a part of what we do, that we look in the back and we remember from what we came from. We honor our history, and yet we live in the present. We celebrate the present. And the present is wonderful. And the good news is we're not stuck in our history, that we plan for the future. And I love it, and I think you made the comments one time that this unique area has been kind of almost kept away from time, maybe the way the roads go, and you see the historical sense of the area, but again, it's been preserved, but we're also not afraid of moving ahead in time. But yes, good. Well, yeah, can I get you the microphone, Jack, and just so everyone can hear well, and then then Jack can run the. He's our Phil Donahue of Tabor United Methodist. It should be on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned Mrs. Hilda Beidel made that photo of the Lord's Supper. Do you know the first name of that woman?
You quizzed the.
I have Hilda Beitles in my
You
family.
quizzed.
So.
You stumped the.
Raymond and Eunice.
Eunice.
Raymond had a brother that had a house down where you and Butch were renting, I think, at one time.
I know they settled here in this area, the Hilda Beitles.
Because
So,
they lived in Philadelphia, but they had this summer home they used to come up to.
interesting.
And
Okay.
it was down by the creek in Hendricks, in the back,
Okay.
Sandy. He's from that house.
Okay. And the other question is about your original sanctuary. Are the pews still there, or did they take them out and put them in storage? You can use that church?
The pews are still there. Some.
Okay.
They shortened it. We made it in some to educational rooms. Oh, they're from. Okay, I'm sorry.
There's some original pews, I think, still sitting in the hallway.
Yeah, some in the hallway you'll see. And again, we will do a tour another time. Actually, our food pantry is part of the old that we serve the community with. And so again, so we just we still use it for before COVID as a prayer room.
Okay.
So it's still partially there and in its original thing, but right, it's had some revisions
And
to it.
Ginny asked me, there's 2 doors on that original sanctuary. She says, is that for men and women? I said, I don't know. So the Mennonite churches did that. They segregated men and women, but I don't know about your church. The original one was the 2 doors. Was that for men and women, or was it just 2 doors? Hmm? Yeah. I mean, Christ United Methodist Church had 2 doors too, but it wasn't for men and women. It was just a style of our church. So.
Oh, I see. I got you. Okay. There's some books up here. All the books we got the pictures. Yeah, so you can right whether it's a picture. There's the books that we got the pictures from are right up front afterwards if you want to look at. But yes,
I'm proud to say that my sister April was the last one baptized in that church building, and I was the first one baptized in the boy building.
nice. There you go. Neat family heritage there. In the back. What?
Do you have an idea of the average census of membership in this church over the years?
Yes, I do. I had some of the numbers here. I think, one second, page 2. I have some numbers of, in 1977, there was 124 attending church and 87 in Sunday school. And then in 1986 or 2005, I have numbers of 270 members of the church and 170 attending Sunday school. So that just gives you a couple of years as it continued to grow. We're not there now. Unfortunately, the culture has changed and shifted. I often say, back then you were weird if you didn't go to church. Maybe now you're weird if you do go to church. But I like being weird if it's about God. I'm willing to be weird with God. So that's kind of just the way we're dealing with that. But I often like to say, back then there was a lot of people that just went to church to go to church, and we would call them, or I would call them, cultural Christians. Maybe they weren't really practicing their faith. They were going through the motions. But I would say the people that come to church now, you are Christians, again, because it's just not what's, in my opinion, what's normally done. Any other questions or comments?
When every one of those Sunday school rooms were filled with
Yeah.
kids, and there was a teacher in every little classroom, and sometimes for the services we had to get extra chairs set up in the back for
Yeah.
all the people who would come.
Praise God.
And
Yeah.
such a blessing. So I know the Lord's going to bring us back to where we used to be.
All
He
right.
is.
Well, thank you, Sandy. Any other questions or, again, stories or, yeah, Jen?
Just a quick question. When I first came here, I noticed that there were jacks for headphones in the front pews. I was told that was because some people attending only spoke German. Is that true? Does anyone know?
That's what Olga Delato told us.
It could be, because obviously it's a big German area. You know, the main history of this area is all German.
Pennsylvania German.
And,
It was a dialect.
yeah. Jack, can you go to the back again?
It'd be interesting with the history of Upper Salford to go back to your founding documents.
Yeah.
And then take those people, I know there's Youngs, there's Fetzers, there's Sloshers, and then make those family trees coming forward, sort of like a thing. I think that would be an interesting project on the side of some wall to see the evolution of the families as they weave through history.
And I'm glad you asked that, because it kind of got one of my notes that I skipped over. They traced all the way back. There was the Lewis Asmus family and the Young family. And we still have descendants from those families still today. Would that be correct, Jack? What's the first name? Lewis Asmus. I think it traced it to the Cressman family. There would have been a Lena Asmus Cressman, I guess as in the 1980s. That was still coming, so I'm not sure if her family continued, but obviously we still have the Young family, I believe, I'm not positive, still attending.
Well,
So-
we have from the Berge Bridge, we have some of the Berges still
Yeah,
in
awesome.
the township
Yeah,
from that.
it's-
And, oh gosh, there was another comment I wanted to make about that. Yeah, I'll think.
It'll come to you when you're driving home.
And just as we wind up, for those here, there's a great table set up that the Historical Society has gotten. I mean, I know I'm going to be interested because I want to know more about the train, you know, and then there's pictures. Yeah, so I mean, I'm just trying to wrap my mind about how that Hendrix was, and it's so neat that there was different stations all along here so close. So I want to learn more about that history. And you said at the township building, that there's more books for sale? And again, so just if anybody wants to know more history of the area, you know, we can help you with that. So thank you, Historical Society.
Pastor Ed, on behalf of the Historical Society, this is a small token of our esteem for you. Thank you. And Karen and Sue.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And again, yeah. We can't thank the Historical Society for what they're doing, and again, because we often talk about it would be a tragedy to lose any of our history. I mean, again, these are people's lives, people's stories. They were tough times, and they were a different breed of people. So again, we are a product of our history, and we're walking on their shoulders. So again, thank you for all that you do. And if anybody else, anything from the back? Okay, well, we want to thank you all for attending. We hope, if you would love, we would do it again and tell you more about this building, and then maybe also have a tour. And again, as we get some more of this information solidified and better, have another presentation. And we actually have, if you want, we can give you a printout of the history that we have for you. Okay? So thank you, everyone, for coming.